Iowa is known as the tall corn state, part of the American rural heartland where agriculture and food production dominate the economy. Soybeans have been exported to China for decades, but the trade war is changing all that. In July, China placed a 25% tariff on the crop and stocks piled up, prices dropped, and Iowa's farmers have been caught in the crosshairs.
You know, corn and soybeans are our two major crops that we grow.
April Hem has just returned from China as part of a soybean growers delegation. Like many farmers in Iowa, she's being hit hard.
We knew someone had to deal with China. Something had to be done. You know, we don't like how it's going down because at the end of the day, agriculture usually always takes it.
Growers' woes have been hampered by an unusually wet spring, and as China deals with an outbreak of African swine fever, the need for feed made using soybeans has dropped. Several farmers have told us they feel trapped in the perfect storm. There's reduced demand from China. Poor weather has led to a bad growing season, and now there's a trade war with no end in sight. The only way farmers in Iowa are keeping their heads above water is through government subsidies, and many say they are unfairly distributed and simply not enough. Economists too say that federal aid is only a short-term solution, so the longer this trade war goes on, the tougher things get.
Now that's gone, what do you do?
Professor Chad Hart says aid is needed, but a long-term trade strategy would be better.
The government support that's coming here is a nice injection, if you will, of cash at a time that farmers are looking to pay some bills, but at the same time too, it doesn't address the long-term issues of not having stable trade relationships.
Farmers are now adjusting by finding new markets and planting alternative crops. China is making similar moves, importing from other nations. There is a fear here, though, that the trade relationship between the US and China may never be the same again.
You guys have filters for...
Like many in a state that President Trump won comfortably in 2016, Brian Sampson is generally in favor of Trump's approach on trade with China. As the months pass, though, his confidence is wavering.
Politicians in general love to use a problem to get votes. So I like him trying to solve problems, check the boxes, move on. I hope that's what happens. Yeah, but I'm not sure.
The president of the American Farm Bureau Federation described the trade war as a body blow to thousands of farmers. Trade, not aid, is a familiar refrain here. But without a resolution, the US's farming states may be facing a different landscape ahead. Andy Gallacher, Al Jazeera, Ames, Iowa.